All right, I guess we're live. What a pain in the ass this is. Can everybody hear me okay? It looks like got lots of latency here. Let me check. Haven't done this in a long time, guys, and it's been a pain in the ass to set up. What a pain in the ass this is. Can everybody hear me okay? It looks like lots of latency here. All right. All right. We're here. We're here. I'm trying to get everything set up so I can see your. Bear with me, folks. I think I might have it finally. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cool. All right, here we go. I see the chat. Everything looks good. You know what the problem is? It's like it kept asking me to get permission because see, I'm doing this through Zoom via YouTube. But every time I would go to start the meeting, I've been trying to do it for like 15 minutes, it would say, you need to grant permission. Then I'm like, all right. So then I'm sitting there doing a Google search, how to grant permissions, and it's telling me how to go grant permissions within Zoom and within YouTube. And I go into both, and it's already been granted. So I'm like, well, why is it not working? But then, and I kept going to title the name of the live stream. Every time I did that, it would put a blocker up. So I just left it as is, like Pete Pardo is inviting you to a blah, blah, blah. And then it worked. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So here we are. Let me just take a quick drink and we can get started here. Sorry for the late start. Uh, For those of you watching, I am P. Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. It is Memorial Day here in the United States, and for all my U.S. friends, happy Memorial Day, and hopefully you all had a pleasant day doing whatever you were doing. And I figure, I want to thank George Lemmy for prompting me to do this because he's like, you haven't done one of these live streams on a holiday in a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't. And there's reasons why I haven't, because they tend to get very, very chaotic for those of you who have experienced any of these. If you remember, I can think of many of the weekly Q&A show, live Q&A shows I used to do, as well as the holiday shows, and we'd have like hundreds of people in the chat, everybody asking a million questions, and it was just like impossible to like keep track of anything. So let's see who we have here. Now that we're all here, let's see who we have in the chat. I have my handy dandy iPad over here with the live stream with all of the chat going. So we got Kiefer Livingston. What's going on? Matthew A. Pear, Gary Joyce. Of course, we got another principal here. We have Zappa 217A6. I wore this for you. No, not really, but I did wear this. Um, we got Little Deader. We got Brad Porter, Brad Dowell, Rendum. Is that Ove? Ove, are you still up? Jeez, never sleeps. Pete Brown, Andrew Peters, Gary Milligan, David Sterry, Anthony Ferrara. What's going on? Reporting for Dewey. I would hope so. Tim Henry, who else? George Lemise there. Finally, I know George. It took me a little while. I blame it on the damn Zoom and YouTube. It ain't my fault. Table 3 6 here. Oh boy, all sorts of people are here. Yeah, there's no real topic here, folks, today. I just wanted to kind of catch up with you guys for an hour and just shoot the shit, talk about music. Hopefully you guys did some fun stuff today. I spent the entire day out in the backyard doing yard work and getting a lot of sun. That was basically my day. What do we got here? Steve Auger, really love your channel. I'm loving the album series you're doing this month. Well, cool. I love that. I am really enjoying it as well, and I'm almost kind of sad to see it end in on Saturday. Part of me was thinking, do I really want to do the bass player thing starting June 1st? Do I want to do another? I probably will do that, but I may return to this whole, you know, underrated, underappreciated albums that should have been, could have been type of thing because I've really been enjoying this a lot. And I think you guys have as well, right? So, see, Robert Parks is asking me about the live concerts I'm seeing this summer. Well, I might be going to see Queensryche next week. They're playing a live show up in Albany. I'm going to Robin Trower with Eric Porter at the end of June. I have tickets to see Styx this summer in August. I don't think I have anything in July. September, there's all sorts of shit going on in September. I think Judas Priest and Alice Cooper playing the end of September, and there's a whole bunch of other things popping up. So that's really all I have right now. I'm going to see Dream Theater in October again, the last night of the tour at Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. So that should be a fun show. So yeah, that's all that's happening right now. What else we got here? Waiting on the keyboard player month from Kiefer. Yeah, that's coming as well. I haven't done the bass players and the keyboard players. Those are both coming. Coming. Window Lizard says been listening to a lot of Toto today. Self-titled debut and Toto 4 specifically. Can't go wrong with either one of those. How about Isolation? Don't miss out on Isolation. Terrific, terrific album. Have you heard anything on the Born Again box set? I have not. Basically, all I've heard is, Ian said he heard that Sabbath was going to be remixing it and re-releasing it, reissuing it. Tony has hinted at it. They found the master tapes. Like Chris Allo and I have said, we're pretty sure that they're not going to announce any more Sabbath releases until after the July 5th show, the reunion show, the tribute show, the goodbye show, whatever it's being called now in the UK happens. My guess is after that, we will hear more about upcoming Sabbath releases. Probably Born Again will be next, I'm assuming. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I am looking forward to, because as you know, I love that album. So let's see. Someone, Alex Madrid, bought the Led Zeppelin remaster set yesterday at an antique store. Nice. Obviously, I already own all the songs in the set, but I'm looking forward to listening to the interview with the band members. Yeah, there's so much Zeppelin stuff out there, right? Let's see. From Jose, since you love prog and metal music, you ever listen to the Ocean Collective? Yes. Really good atmospheric stuff. Check them out. I have a bunch of their releases. I think the last thing I got from them is when they released the two simultaneously a couple of years back. Yeah, good band. I haven't listened to them in years though. What else we got here? Rob Lasante's in the house. Yes, Robin Trower, my friend. Rob and I are not going to the same show. I think Rob's going to Connecticut or Jersey. I'm doing the one here in Poughkeepsie. So, but yeah, I would say go check out Robin Trower if you have the chance, because don't know how much longer he's going to be touring. So I got to check him out the one last time. Pat Thrall, yes, love Pat Thrall. Pete, what's worse, Tigers of Pantang burning in the shade, or that one peppermint chocolate infused beverage you had that one time? That was pretty bad. I can probably listen to the Tigers album more than I would ever have that peppermint stout, whatever thing that I had. Yeah, that was pretty awful. I kind of thought it might be good because I'm like, I like chocolate peppermint, and I was like, it was not good. Not at all. And it was too boozy. I don't like stouts that are like 9, 10% and above. I don't need beer to be that strong. So yeah, did not like that. Let's see. From Dan, great idea to have a live chat. Nice day today. Bummed about the passing of Simon House. Yeah, Simon House, of course, from Hawkwind. I did see that today. I may or may not do a tribute video tomorrow. We'll see. But worst case scenario, I'll do a little short just to kind of, I don't know how much I could say on Simon, but he was so important to a bunch of Hawkwind albums, right? But yeah. Let's see. Coming over from a Pat Travers interview on Rick Beato. Cool. I interviewed Pat Travers before Rick did, though. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That was a couple of years ago. He was a cool interview. Pat was a very cool guy. Yeah, Clutch is coming up. Clutch is actually playing up also in Albany, I think within the next 2 weeks. I haven't gotten tickets, but I may want to go. Craig Kaminsky says maybe go see Fu Manchu. Yes, I think we're going to do that, dude. Um, Trying to talk Lynn into it as well, but we'll see about that. But yeah, I may want to go see Fu Manchu for sure, Craig. So we'll circle back on that soon, because we probably should get tickets like relatively soon. Gary says, "Where's Silence? Silence is golden. Silence is Porter." I don't know. I don't know. Webb says, has Pete done this in the past? Yes. Webb, how long have you been watching the channel? I used to do live stream Q&As every Sunday for years. Well, maybe not years, but a couple of years. It's been a while, though. It's been a while. So if you've only been watching the channel for maybe 2 years or so, maybe three, you probably missed out on all of the Q&A live stream years, because there was quite a bit of that going back a ways. My favorite Japanese band across all genres. God, I really love that band Fragile. They're really great. They're really, really great. That might be my favorite band. They're a fusion band if you never listen to them, but they're very aggressive. So if you like kick-ass instrumental music, check out Fragile. They're just absolutely amazing. Nice win by the Mets. Thank you, Rob. Yes, indeed. That was a cool game. They woke up just when they needed to, right? New Glenn Hughes album in August. Well, he's long overdue. Seems like that last album from him was ages ago. God, what was that like 6, 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years ago? I'm losing track. It's been a long time. I thought he was going to get into doing albums a little more frequently, but then I know he was with the Dead Daisies for a bit. He did another Black Country Communion album, but I thought he was going to get back to pumping out solo albums a little bit faster, but it's been a while. Yes, I'm going to see Dream Theater again. So they're playing at Nassau Coliseum. I think it's October 25th. So I just caught them on the last show of the first leg of the US tour at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. And I'm going to see the last show of the second leg of the tour at Nassau Coliseum, which is like, you know, if the New York City show wasn't a hometown show, the Nassau Coliseum show is really a hometown show because most of the guys are from Long Island. Even though Mike doesn't live in Long Island anymore, he lives in Pennsylvania. But the rest of the guys, with the exception of James, who's from Canada, I'm not sure if he still lives in Canada or not, but he's Canadian. But the rest of the guys still live in Long Island, so that's going to be a really really cool show. Big venue for them. I mean, that's like a 15 to 20,000 seater, right? So that's going to be pretty cool. Let's see. What else? What else? Do. Harmonica month, Leonardo. That will not be happening. That will not be happening. Um, I don't know what it is about harmonica and me. They just don't just doesn't goes in this ear and it wants to jump right out again. I can deal with it for like milliseconds. Like everybody says, oh, but how about, on the first Black Sabbath album, right? There's that little bit of harmonica. I'm like, yeah, I can kind of tolerate that. But any bands that use a ton of harmonica, I'm just kind of like, after a while, I don't mind it sparingly here and there, but yeah. Yeah, Billy Joel he's got some kind of is it brain sort of thing going on that's I was reading something up on it, and they're trying to explain it that he's got some symptoms that are very similar to like what my father has, but it's not. I don't think it's a form of dementia. So yeah, it's a shame. But apparently, what he's got can be cured. So, but I think the symptoms look like dementia. So apparently, in like, but it's like a couple of years that he's got to go through treatment. So he may not be able to perform again for like 2 or 3 years, and he'll be like almost 80 by then. So I don't know if Billy's ever going to be able to do any shows like he's currently doing now. Is Trower good live? Yes. Now, granted, I haven't seen him in probably 5, 6 years, but he was spectacular the last time I saw him. He always brings it. Don't be fooled by how old he is. At 80, he still can play, and he plays all the old classics live. So I would say if you have a chance to get Robin Trower tickets and he's coming near you, go see him definitely. Let's see what else we got here. What do I think of the Dark Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz, synchronicity theory? I mean, I've heard over the years there were a million albums that like sync up with The Wizard of Oz. I have actually, I like did that like years and years ago. I watched like parts of The Wizard of Oz and tried to play it along, and it kind of does. I think a lot of this stuff is just made up and it just happens to kind of match up slightly. I don't think anybody was ever thinking of doing that stuff. It's so weird how that stuff happens. There was another album too that matched up with something from the movie. I don't remember what it was. Strange things we did back when we were younger. I used to always experiment with a lot of stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, the Jimi Hendrix Experience live. Yeah, I've never seen one of those. So let's see. Robert Park said Zach Wilde, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Eric Johnson. Yeah, they always get a lot of cool people that do that. Eric Gales, I think, generally has done a bunch of those. I should probably check that out one of these days. Will I be going to see the Joe Perry Project? They're playing at the Capitol Theater, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we'll see. Possibly. Yeah, Styx's new album is being announced like any day now, so I can't wait to get it and hear it. I'm a huge, huge fan. So, and I love the last two albums they've done. If it's anything like those two, I think we're in for a treat. So, let's see. Did I hear about Lukather working on a new Van Halen project? Yeah, I did a video short on that like a month or two ago when they first started talking about it. But basically what I've read is that uh, Steve is just going to be helping Alex put together and get the recordings together. He's actually not going to be adding any musical stuff of his own. So I don't believe he's playing any guitar in this. He basically has said, he came out and said this after it first kind of leaked out in the news, that the last thing he would want to do is do anything with any Van Halen recordings. He will help Alex put the stuff together, but he's not going to be recording any guitar parts on any archival stuff for Van Halen. So I think we can kind of, I mean, as cool as that might be, I think, he just doesn't, they were two good friends and he just does not want to do that. So, got to respect his opinion on that. Wonder if you ever listened to one of the latest favorites, Ningen Isu. I don't know who that is, Brandon. Sorry. Um, I was really listening to an old episode of Underrated Metal Hard Rock with Martin last night. Cool. What do I think about the Danish band DAD? I've heard a little bit of their music. It's okay. I don't really think I can comment enough because I haven't heard enough of it. I think I reviewed one of their albums like a couple of years ago, but I haven't experimented any further than that. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of people in the chat. We got 233 people here. Yeah, Isolation is great by Toto, Hydra, and Turn Back. Yep, all good stuff. Will I ever do any videos about Mike Oldfield from Ben Automotive? I mean, I had Tubular Bells. I'm not even really nuts about Tubular Bells. I've listened to the one that comes after it, Alma Go On, whatever the hell it's called. I'm not a massive fan, to be honest. I find his music a little laid back for me. There's moments of cool stuff, but he's never been one of those artists that I've gone out and bought a lot of his stuff. I bought Tubular Bells because every prog fan's supposed to own it, and I've always been kind of like, all right, it's got its moments, but it's never really grabbed me 100%, and I've never gone any further, to be honest. So, as of right now, probably nothing in the works for Mike Oldfield. Um, am I a fan of Bathory? Here's a weird thing. I've always known about Bathory. I've listened to some of their albums. I've never bought in my life a Bathory album, believe it or not. I know that's kind of blasphemy for someone who likes, a fair amount of black metal. It's one I know we did a show on the Hudson Valley Squares recently where Bathory came up in the conversation. I'm like, God, I need to like rectify that at some point. So yeah, I do like them. I've just never collected their albums and, you know, taken the deep dive into their music for whatever reason. But like all these other bands that they influenced, yes. So it's kind of weird, very strange. Let's see. Someone just Classic Rock Junkie just got the second Blue Murder album. Cool on vinyl. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I like the second album. It's good. It's not nearly as great as the first album, but it's got its moments. It's pretty good. Let's see. Eno, nah, I'm not much of an Eno fan. Sorry. That kind of electronic stuff kind of is lost on me. I can appreciate it, but it's not something I collect or whatever. I mean, I have like a fair share of like old 70s Tangerine Dream albums on CD, which I like. I don't listen to all that much. But like, yeah, Brian Eno stuff, not really my thing. Let's see what else we got. Have I ever seen Clapton live? I have not, from Little Deader. I've never seen Eric Clapton live. Not with anybody, not on his own. Um, Probably be something cool to do one of these days, right? Let's see. Tyler Patterson's going to catch Allman Betts band in Cleveland. Yeah, I've had so many chances to see the Allman Betts band, and I really wanted to see the Allman Brothers family thing recently. And it always seems to be the timing is always off for whatever reason. You can't go to everything, but I love the Allman Brothers, and I'm still upset that when the Allman Brothers did their final run at the Beacon Theater for like it seemed like 3 weeks, I couldn't get a ticket to go to any of the shows. It was just every show would sell out just like instantly. It was just like ridiculous, and finally I just gave up. Let's see, what do we got here? I know you love music and movies. How about TV shows, video games? I hate video games, so no. I despise video games. I have no tolerance, no patience for video games. I don't like standing around watching people play video games. I don't even like people talking about video games. I lose interest in 2 seconds. So yeah, that's one of my pet peeves is video games. I just have no use for them. TV shows, I mean, I don't watch a ton of TV, but I do watch some stuff. Like I do watch some shows on like Netflix or Apple TV or Max, um, Paramount and stuff like that. But the problem is there's just way too many shows. So like for me, it's like I'll every now and then be like, okay, I'm gonna watch this and I'll watch that show. And there'll be like 5 or 10 other shows that everybody raves about that they say you need to watch that I'll just never get to. And I also too I it's a pain in the ass for me to like remember every week what TV shows are on. So I usually wait till like something I want to watch till the season's done, and then I can just go and like boom, watch them all in succession over the course of a night or a weekend or something like that. It's just that's how I operate with TV. I've got so much other stuff going on that it's like for me to be like stuck in front of the TV every night and just because I used to do that. It's like, oh, Monday night is this and Tuesday night's that. I don't do that anymore. It's like I'll watch my Met games when they're on, and occasionally I'll watch some other stuff. But for the most part, I'm kind of like, all right, I have time for TV. What can I watch? Type of thing. And I much rather sit and watch my movies. To be honest with you, that excites me more. But that's just me. Let's see what else we got here. Have I ever seen or heard of The Warning? Yes, Robert Parks. I have probably been asked that question by more people over the last couple of years than any other question. Uh, I've listened to them because everybody says I would love them. You got to check them out. Um, they're okay. I personally don't hear what's everybody thinks is so spectacular about them. They're okay. I just wonder if people think they're okay just because they're women. I they don't sound to me like anything that I haven't already heard before. I'll keep trying them, but I've tried them a few times. I'm just kind of like, it's all right. But people keep saying they're like the second coming of, whatever, Led Zeppelin or something. It's just like they're okay. I don't know. I just don't see the fascination. But let's see. Do I practice the five pentatonic scale positions for 30 minutes a day? I wish I played guitar for 30 minutes a day. I when I do, I'll play for hours and hours, but it's not every day. I'm the kind of guy. It's like I'll go grab one of my guitars and I'll sit when I'm watching TV or watching a movie, and I'll just practice scales and chords and riffs and things for 4, 5, 6 hours, and then I may not pick up a guitar again for another 3, 4 days. I wish I would. I've been doing it more lately, where I'll grab a guitar, plug in, turn the amp on, plug the effects in, and actually do that. Because that I enjoy much more, obviously, but that entails taking time to go and do that. So, yeah. So, but yeah, but I try to play as much as I can, but I wish I could play more. Have I thought about doing a rank in the Tedeschi Trucks catalog? Yes, Scott. And I know Simon Bray would love to do that. The problem is every time I think it's time to do that, they release another album or two or three. So that's the problem with doing like bands that are still very, very active because you get ready to do a ranking show, then they announce another new album. So yeah, eventually we'll get to them. Like I did, I waited a while to do like the Derek Trucks band ranking, because I waited till basically I knew there was nothing happening there anymore, right? So yeah, so Tedeschi Trucks at some point, we'll see. Let's see. Have I checked out blues rocker Anthony Gomes? I've never gone out and bought his music, but I was constantly getting flooded with posts of his on Facebook, so I would just go watch little videos and things there. Pretty talented guy, pretty talented player. Let's see. From your 50 and 2025 selections, Blow by Blow, Voyage of the Acolyte, Freehand, and Believe It were probably my faves, but I heard that for the first time this year. Thanks, Window Lizard. What else we got here? Table's got his tickets for Symphony X and Dream Theater. I thought about going to Symphony X. I love Symphony X. My issue with going to see Symphony X again is they're going to play the same set list they've played like the last two times I've seen them. They haven't released a new album in like a decade. They're just basically playing the same stuff over and over again. And while it's great to see them every couple of years, I kind of want to hear different songs live at this point. So I think I'm going to wait till hopefully they release a new album and then revamp the set list, and then we don't just get the last 10 years set list over and over and over again. I love them though. And they're so great live. Southpaw Jimmy, honest assessment of your guitar playing ability. I think I'm pretty bad. So it's, I'm just a hack. I'm just a guy who's been playing at home. I haven't played in bands or recording anything in ages and ages and ages. I just have fun playing. And like I said, if I had more time to dedicate towards it, I'd probably try and learn a lot more stuff and get better. But I'm almost 60 years old here, and it's like maybe when I retire and I have a little more time, I will dedicate more time to my playing so I could get better. But what I would do with it at that point, I don't know. I'm just kind of like a home player. I enjoy it. It's fun. It takes my mind off things. I love collecting guitars. That's kind of where I'm at there. Blah, 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 blah. Harmonic and bongos are a very toxic mix. Yeah, Steve, I would agree with that. Yeah, no, Scott, no Blues Traveler album ranking. But if someone here on the channel wants to do it, have at it. I won't be doing it. I won't be buying any of their albums or listening to them, so that's not going to happen. Cry of Love. Yes, I did like. Here's the weird thing. I bought that Cry of Love album, the first one when it came out, and I don't know what I ever did with it. I think a lot of those albums that I was just buying left and right in the early 90s. At one point I did like a big purging of a bunch of CDs, and I think that one got the heave ho. Kind of wish I would have held on to it because that's a really good band. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Jeff, I got the olds too. We all got the olds. All right, what else? Oh, Billy's conditional is called hydrocephalus. Is that what it's called? Okay. Well, that's what you have, Jeff. Okay, so yeah, he's yeah. Yeah, Trower can definitely still play. Yeah, Trower's face. One of the cool things about going to see Robin Trower live is to see the facial contortions that he does. I mean, that's hilarious. That's just classic Trower. Oh, Trower was on Rick Beato or Pat Travers? I thought someone was saying Pat Travers was on Rick Beato today. Cool if you had both of them. Um, thank you, Matthew, for your contribution. Do Chris and I have the next Sabbath Stones planned? Um, no, but we just did one a couple like 3 weeks ago, so we're probably due for one real soon. So if not before the end of the month, probably the beginning of June. We have a whole list of topics. We kind of play them, go by ear. We say, all right, you guys ready to do a show? We look at the topics and we just run with it. We don't plan too far in advance on that. Um, the channel schedule. Okay. So the first Monday of each month is Hudson Valley Squares. The first Tuesday of each month, no, the second Tuesday of each month is in the Prague seat. The third Thursday is Monsters Den. The first and third Friday mornings is Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. In between or after those on a Friday morning is live album Love with Rick Labonte. Um, Once a month, not really planned, is the What Is It show with Scott Lave from the Prod Corner, Brendan Snyder, and Grant Arthur from the Contrarians and Grant's Rock Warehouse. Um, what else am I missing here? We've got playlist Euphoria with Lynn Versace is as often as we can get to them. Lynn is really, really busy. So whenever I can kind of get her in one place for a half hour, we try to record. Those are there's no schedule. They whenever we get to them, we'll get to them. We'd like to do two or three a month, so we're going to try and do that. And then there's Talking Jazz, which is once a month. That's usually right around the end of each month. We got one coming up later this weekend. And ranking the albums is every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been busy of late. We've been doing double shots for the last couple of weeks, but don't expect that all the time. And then UK Connection is every other Saturday. And then the Saturdays that the UK Connection doesn't air is the Review Crew. So we've got stuff happening quite often. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything because there's so many damn shows. So yeah, so that's kind of the schedule. If you ever kind of forget when things are running, if you go on the channel on the About tab, that tells you what there's. I have it all kind of posted in there. Let's see what else we got here. Uh, 80s F1 fan. I've already answered the Danish band DID thing a while ago. Yeah, Eric Ailes is a fantastic guitar player. Have I seen the original Suite in concert? No, I was a little too young. I think when I was starting to go to shows in like 81, they were kind of past their prime, and I don't know if they really were touring here at all that I remember around that time. Let's see. Oh, we got someone from Caracas, Venezuela. Very, very cool. Let's see. David Sanchez and the Tone. Yep. Um, what prog rock album of this year has caught my attention? Well, a lot. I mean, geez, the new Magic Pie is great. I love the new Eden song. New Glass Hammer is cool. Sons of Ra is really cool. Man, a lot. There's a ton of great prog rock that's come out this year. I'm sitting there looking at my stack of stuff that I recently reviewed. Yeah, a lot of really good stuff. I really am digging the new Magic Pie quite a bit though, and I knew that was going to be great also. So really good stuff. Yeah, there's a ton of cool stuff. Jim Mathios, what's he doing? Well, he was doing that project with the that melodic rock singer. Oh man, I'm forgetting his name, and I forget the name. Something to Mencia. I like it. I kind of like Mark Zonder and Ray Alder's project A through Z a little bit more, though, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But I mean, anything Jim does is generally pretty good. But he seems to want to get away from the whole Fates Warning thing, which whatever, it is what it is. Am I related to Don Pardo, the Saturday Night Live announcer? No, I am not. And if I could probably easily tell you, I've been asked that question hundreds of times in my life. I went for many, many years, like in the mid, when I was going to college in like the early mid '80s, and probably through a good chunk of the '90s. Whenever I ran into someone and they asked me that question, I used to tell them that he was my uncle. And then they're like, really? How cool is that? You have any cool stories to tell? And I would start fudging something. I'd be like, nah, I'm just kidding. So yeah, no, he is not my uncle. How many books about music do you own, especially from Martin Popoff? I have a ton of music books, like a ton. In fact, I have so many like music biographies and music books and autobiographies and stuff that I ran out of room in this office on my bookshelves to put them in. So my wife insisted that I had to put them in the shed. So I have them in like an airtight sealed giant bin. I have a whole bunch of them in my shed because I just don't have any room for them anymore. But yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot of Martin's books. All of Martin's books are here, and I have them looking at them right now. There's a ton of them. So yeah, I have a whole stack of books that's sitting there that I bought the last couple of months that I'm waiting to read. I'm reading the Mike Campbell autobiography right now. Mike Campbell, of course, from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I think it's called Heartbreaker. I'm reading that right now. I've got a Mark Bolan biography sitting waiting to be read. I've got a John Lennon one written by James Patterson that's waiting to be read. I've got a Gary Moore book that's waiting to be read. I'm constantly buying music books and reading stuff I'd love to read. I'm a big book guy, and I can't get into reading books on like PDF and iPads and all that kind of crap. It's like I gotta have the physical book. That's just me. So yeah, But all right, what else we got here? Count Ralphus is here. What's going on? Is it true that a new extreme metal show will start airing monthly on SOT? Yes. I kind of thought you guys would have it ready already. I don't like maybe you were waiting until for after Maryland Death Fest or something like that. I don't know. But yes, we will have a new show called, oh my God, Gabagool something. I forget the full title of it. But basically it's going to be an extreme metal show once a month featuring Nick Franco, Ryan Scow, and Count Ralphus and possibly other people as well. But it's going to be a fun show. I know we've had a lot of people ask for a show dedicated to that because I know, we do have our extreme metal fans that watch the channel. So yeah, so that'll be coming fairly soon, I hope. Um, would I ever redo a Dream Theater ranking now with two new albums since your last ranking? All right, everybody asked me to redo album rankings. Guys, I've got so many other bands that I haven't even yet gotten to. I'm not redoing rankings anytime soon. I don't like doing the same stuff over and over and over again, in case you haven't noticed. At some point when I've exhausted every band that I want to rank the catalog of, and I don't know when that'll be, then maybe I'll consider going back and re-ranking stuff if we've got a significant amount of releases since the original time we re-ranked them. But please don't expect any re-ranking shows anytime soon. I've got so many other catalogs to get to. Geez, I'm staring at 16 albums from Virgin Steel right here. I've got like 10 albums from Hellstar, but we're holding up on it because they've got a new album coming out. Yeah, it's just Vicious Rumor. We're going to do that. They have another new album coming out, so we're holding off on that. So, yeah, I may even do a Wasp ranking because, quite frankly, I've been buying like a lot of I got all the old Wasp albums from the '80s. I picked up like Golgotha and Babylon and whatever the hell this is called, Dominator. Yeah, Dominator. So, yeah, I've just So yeah, there's so much to do. So please, there will be no re-ranking shows in the near future. Maybe at some point, yeah, but not anytime soon. What else we got? What else we got? Will you see the Who on their final shows? I've seen the Who a lot. I have really good memories of seeing the Who, like the last couple times I saw them, which has been a while. I probably the last time I saw the Who was 8 or 10 years ago. I almost kind of want that to be my last memories. I love the Who, but it's like one of those things. We'll see. Pete, are you working out more? You seem leaner in the face. Yes. Yes. I decided back in probably February that I wasn't feeling healthy. I didn't like the way I looked. I put on some weight. I just wasn't feeling good. I wasn't working out like I normally would, just eating wrong and all this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be 60. I need to get back in better shape. So I've lost 24 pounds. I go to the gym like 6 days a week. I've really been busting my ass and I feel great. I feel the best I've felt in a long time. So yeah, and I barely drink alcohol anymore. I have a couple beers here and there. I have a beer with my UK connection friends when we do that show. I may have like, one or two beers a week or something like that, but and I'm eating healthier. Yeah. So yes, I do look better. I do look thinner in the face. I was looking at like photographs of myself like from like Fall Fest last December, and I'm like, oh God, I look like shit. So yeah, I feel better, sleeping better. Yeah, I highly advise it for anybody who's getting older and feeling that you're slipping and out of shape and yeah. So like when I go back for my yearly checkup, my doctor's gonna be very happy with me. So my cholesterol was a little high, right? There's my father and my grandmother both had diabetes, right? So it's like I needed to kind of do something. So yeah. But thank you for noticing, and yes, hopefully I look a little better. But yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Oh God, tons until we have over 300 people on. Woo! Wow. Let's see what's going on. Who we got? Sal is here. Wow, Sal, what's going on? Italiano, what's happening? Do I have high hopes for the new Zebra music from D Rocker? Yeah. Why the hell not? I am anxiously awaiting that Zebra album, whenever the hell it's coming out. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but I have been listening to a ton of Zebra since Lynn and I did the album ranking recently. And just I'm loving getting back into the music of that band. It's like one of those bands I really liked when they first came out, and I just kind of lost touch with them. I'm so happy that I'm back listening to Zebra again. Let's see. Kenso and Iceberg rankings. Yep, that's exactly right. They will be coming. They will be coming. Have I heard the new Wild Hearts album? Satanic Rites of the Wild Hearts? No, I've never bought or listened to any Wild Hearts albums at all. Never. It's I can't listen to everything. If you guys knew how much stuff I had to listen to right now, you would be shaking your heads. I've got a stack of like 20 CDs that I want to review over the next couple of weeks. I don't know how I'm going to get to them. I've got all this stuff that I bought, stuff I've got to listen to for ranking shows, For Fusion Friday. Oh, how did I forget For Fusion Friday before? For Fusion Friday, again, all these damn shows. I'm sure George is already pissed off in the comments. For Fusion Friday is the first Friday of every month, Friday evening of every month. It's too many shows on this channel. It's like crazy. But no, I have not heard any of the Wild Hearts. Yes, Independence, Hellstar rule. I was just telling George to me like not even a week ago. I was one of those bands, always knew of Hellstar. I have like one of their albums that came out like, I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. And I remember getting that and reviewing that, really digging it. But I never listened to Hellstar back in the day. And I've gone and picked up all their albums, and they are probably my favorite new band to me, but old band. Hellstar are amazing. Some of the sickest metal riffs I've heard in ages. Love the vocals, just so good. So good. Let's see. From For the Musician, I've never really listened to New York Dolls. Were they a popular band back in the day? They were never really big. They were more of a cult band. I like them. I'm not crazy about the New York Dolls. I kind of like them, right? That whole kind of proto-punk thing is not really my scene, but I have both of them and they're decent. TMC, what did you miss? Oh, well, not quite an hour. I'm going to go a little longer because we didn't start till quarter after, but all sorts of stuff, man. All sorts of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Bryce will definitely be happy to see me listening to Wasp. I know. God, I miss Bryce. Bryce hasn't been on the show in a long time. Um, will Exorcist be in the Virgin Steel ranking? That's one of those. That's not like that box set thing they put out, right? I don't have that. I may or may not do that. We'll see. As it is, it's like it's a lot of albums, so we'll see. Um, do I like the new Dream Theater better than the ones with Mangini? I don't know yet. I like it a lot though. I think the ones with Mangini are very good. Especially, I thought the last one was great. Um, yeah, I don't know, better or worse. They're all really good. So I don't know. It's kind of early to say, but I like it quite a bit. Um, yeah, I'm excited for the new Styx album too. Do I like Diana Ross and the Supremes from Joe Chewbacca? I can listen to Diana Ross and the Supremes, but I don't like own any of the music, but I hear it. I'm fine with it. I like some of that stuff. I enjoy listening to some of that kind of music. How Bailey do you think the Who handled Zach Starkey's second? Yeah, that was awful. I don't know what the fuck was up with that. It's like he's fired, he's not fired, he's fired. I mean, Zach has been the drummer in the band forever. I don't know what Roger's issue is. I don't know. The last bunch of times I've seen him, he's been in the band. He's a great fit. He captures the spirit of Keith Moon, in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. All right, let me go fast forward. Jeez, we got a lot. You should squeeze in more of these live shows because it's awesome. Thank you, Ken. I'm glad you guys like them. I'm trying to figure out why everybody thinks they're so awesome, but hey, whatever. Let's see. Thank you for getting me into Deep Purple and Thin Lizzy. You're welcome, Elias. Very cool. Thanks, Elder. Yeah, the Alex Lifeson interview was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Um, do you like Van Morrison? Anything in his catalog? I have his classic live album. I don't have anything else by Van Morrison. Oh, and I think I have a greatest hits. That's it. I never just, to me, everything on that live album is very cool, but I just never bothered to go any further. Let's see what else. New Cadaver album. No, because the physical CD has not been released yet. I think it's early June. I'll be getting it. I'll be reviewing it. Um, I've heard it's weird. I thought the last album was kind of cool, but really different. So, yeah. I think Portnoy should not have rejoined Dream Theater so he can do all his other bands. Yeah, but it was inevitable. He had many, many years to do all those other bands, like a decade plus. I think it was time for Mike to rejoin Dream Theater. It was inevitable. So I'm happy. Will I miss the Neil Morris band and Transatlantic and all that stuff? Yeah, but we have a lot of music from them. So I'm okay with this. I'm totally fine with it. Let's see. Do you ever see your wife? Busy schedule that you have? Like, yeah, I mean, we're here together all day long. So, yeah, my schedule isn't that crazy anymore. I have lightened it up quite a bit. So, what's your day job, Pete? From Dennis Quinn. I am a customer success manager for a online training organization. So I work with government customers who purchase our product, and I help them with learning our product, making sure they get trained on it, helping them with marketing and all that kind of cool stuff. I've been with my company for 23 years. Man, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm ready to retire, folks. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Let's see. Who would be my dream person to interview? Tony Iommi. That's the guy. Hopefully one of these days. I interviewed Bev Bevan, who he's best buddies with. Of course, Bev Bevan was in Sabbath briefly, Bev from ELO and The Move and whatnot. And Bev told me he was going to talk after I interviewed Bev, this was a couple of years ago. He told me he was going to convince Tony to come on here and be interviewed by me. It has not happened. So we'll see. We'll see. What else? What else? As a collector of CDs, do you have a CD cleaner and scratch remover machine? No, I do not. Um, None of my CDs have scratches on them. I keep very good care of my CDs. So I'm not someone who throws them around and drops them in the car. And it's my CDs are, I've never needed one in all the year, in the 30 plus years I've been collecting CDs and the thousands and thousands I have. I never have an issue with skips and scratches and all that kind of stuff, except when I buy used ones and they come with little scratches on them. But me, my own, no. Is Symphony X dead? 10 years, a long time. No, they're not dead. I mean, they're still playing live shows. They say they're getting new music together, but I don't know. What's the best Hudson Valley venue? I mean, as far as like a club, really isn't any anymore. But I like the more like the kind of the old style movie theaters that have concerts, like the Paramount Theater in Peekskill. There's a Paramount in Middletown, which is really nice. There's a bunch of those nice little venues that are around here, but for the most part, there ain't shit around here anymore. It's, going to see live music around here is just not very good. Let's see. Loving the new jazz series. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have a new one coming up this weekend. So it'll probably air on the first. So we're doing it over the weekend. So yeah, that's Thelonious Monk. So Scott Berry and myself. So that's coming up this weekend. What else? Being a fellow buyer of CDs exclusively, do you ever feel like you're missing out on anything vinyl related? Not really. I mean, you guys know that I do have a turntable here now, which was sent to me. The company reached out to me, wanted to know if I would accept a free turntable, and in hopes that I would do a video on it and review it, right? Which I said yes. So it's cool to have for when people do send vinyl that they need reviewed. But I am not. I just don't have the space to start collecting vinyl. So something, obviously, if something I really want, it's not getting a CD release and it's only available on vinyl, I will. Um, Go ahead and get that maybe, but I have maybe 10, 12 vinyl things here. I've had more. I've given them away. A lot of times labels send me stuff and I review it. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I like it, but I don't need to keep it. So I've been giving stuff away. And so yeah, I am not going to start up a whole vinyl collection. That's not happening. But it's cool to have it in case I need it. So if at some point, I wind up having a bit of it, whatever. But it's not why I accepted the turntable. It's more just to be able to listen to stuff and review stuff when I need to, right? So, let's see. Have I heard the Tony Iommi and Robbie Williams collaboration? No, I need to check that out. I did see a post on that. One concert in the past you would love to attend? Well, if I was old enough, I wish I was at the original Woodstock because it's like an hour from my house and would have loved to have been there. Never been a fan of power metal, but Halloween is king. Yep, Dakota. The Halloween is pretty kingly. Let's see. What's your favorite album so far this year? Any recommendations? I don't know what my absolute favorite album this year is. I got a lot of them. I probably will be doing like in early July a here's what's come out this year so far that I'm really digging that you will probably see showing up on my end of the year list. So I will probably be doing that like within a month. So if you can kind of hang in there, I'll be telling you which are some of my favorites so far this year. As of right now, I couldn't tell you. There's a lot of stuff I've been really digging. So it's been a pretty good year for music so far. When are you ranking the Tragically Hip? Never heard a single album by them, so probably not anytime soon. Let's see. Blackfoot. Yeah, Blackfoot rules. Am I going to see Ghost on this tour? I don't know. I thought about it for a half a second. I've seen them before. They are playing up in Boston, so part of me is like, I just need to take a road trip and go up to Boston to see them, but I don't know if it's going to happen. What do you think of the newer Rush R50 box set? I haven't gotten it. I don't think I need it. I don't know what's on there that I really, it's all shit that I probably already still have, right? So I don't think I really need that. In your extensive playlist of ranking the albums, have you ever done one on Jade Warrior? No, but I do have a bunch of Jade Warrior. I'm not sure if I have all of them. I might, but yeah, I've never done Jade Warrior. Probably at some point, I probably need to put them on the long list. Gary Moore played Poughkeepsie. Yes, I did see Gary Moore in Poughkeepsie. It's kind of a funny story. I saw Gary Moore. I guess it was the After the War tour, I think. Or was it Wild Frontiers? It was one of those tours. I think it was after the war. And it was in the late 80s. And I went to see them him at the Chance. And I think the Black Crows opened, or was that the Macaulay Schenker thing? I don't know. I could have sworn the Black Crows opened up a show for either Macaulay Schenker or Gary Moore at the Chance. I don't quite remember. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But my girlfriend at the time went, and I at the time went, and we both got really, really drunk. And I remember like at some point in the beginning of the Gary Moore show, she started getting sick, and I had to take her outside to the car, and I missed most of the Gary Moore set. Sucks. Because honestly, I don't even remember anything about the Gary Moore show at all. And that was the only time I ever saw him. And you guys know how much I love Gary Moore. So yeah, one of those stupid things, a young me drinking too much at a show at like my one of my all-time favorite guitar players, and then I never got to see him again. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let's see. Am I catching Steven Wilson when he gets over there? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Um, do I still plan to rank the albums of Earth, Wind, and Fire? Yes, that will be coming at some point. Yep, that's coming. I got a good chunk of them. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. When will Anthony return to wearing his yellow hoodie? Does he not realize its significance? I would assume when the weather gets colder again, but we'll see. He has to appear on more shows to do that, though. He's been good of late, though. But yeah, you'll have to ask him that. I know it's like that's like tradition, right? Let's see. Any bands or artists you've always wanted to see live but never got the chance? Not really. God, I've seen most bands that I've really liked. I'm talking about bands that were tour at some point during my life when I was going to concerts that were still touring. Um, I've gotten to see almost everybody. I don't really know if there's any that I just never got to see at all. I don't think so. I think every band that I've really liked that I've really wanted to see, I've gone to see, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to, to be able to do that. Let's see. Do you know of the 70s prog band called Ethos? Absolutely. Great band. Really cool band. Check them out. Let's see. Oakland is in the house. What's going on, Christopher? Let's see. Bubba, glad you like Riverside. Yeah, they're awesome. Great band. Can't go wrong with any Riverside. All really good albums. Let's see. High Number, very cool. Yeah, I would love to see Simon Phillips Protocol. I think he played at the Iridium in New York City. I don't get to the city that often anymore. I would, it's just a pain in the ass for me. But I heard the Iridium is a great little place. Um, you know what, Satan? I'm giving Juan Soto a break here. He's a young guy who's under enormous amount of pressure. I'm tired of everybody talking about him. It's like, you know what? He will be fine. He hustled his ass the last couple of days, every play. You know, he thought it was a home run. It is what it is. I'm cutting him some slack. I'm not getting on Juan Soto right now. He's been doing the little things fine. Yeah, he's not hitting a lot of home runs and driving a lot of runs yet, but it'll happen. I'm not worried about Juan Soto. How often do I go into the city? Very rarely. Very rarely. I went to see Dream Theater back in early March was the first time I hung out in the city. Other than I went to a thing at Sirius XM. I'm good friends with Dave LaGreca, who hosts Sirius XM's Busted Open Radio, and he invited me to a one of their Christmas parties. Uh, not this past December, the December 4th, but that was the first time I had gone to the city for anything since COVID. And when I went to see Dream Theater recently, that was the first show I've seen in New York City since King Crimson at Radio City right before COVID. So yeah, I just don't go to the city for anything anymore. Not that I don't like to. It's a pain for me to get there and back. It really is. Just, and a lot of the stuff I can kind of see other places. So I've been going other places. So let's see. There's some previous unreleased live stuff on the Rush box. Yeah, I have a lot of like live Rush stuff. I just don't know if I need to buy it. It's just gonna take up space. I'll listen to it all once. Vicious Cycle is Leonard's best album post-classic. I love Vicious Cycle. That's a kick-ass album. I would agree. I really like that album a lot. Um, which deep cut would you want Maiden to play on the Run to the Hills tour? Jeez. Phantom of the Opera. They won't play it. Didn't you see the Police? I did. No, I didn't know. I didn't see the Police, but they played at the Chance for like five people. So I think it was the first ever show they played in the United States in whatever year that was, 79 or 80. Um, they played in the middle of a snowstorm at the Chance to like five people. That there's a notorious chance or historical story around here that the first, yeah, so people who live around here, if it wasn't a snowstorm, could have seen this mega band on their first ever show at the Chance, right? But it was a snowstorm and no one went. So very cool stuff. What's my favorite music YouTube channel outside of my own? Well, without picking like all the friends that I have and stuff who have YouTube channels, right? I'm a big fan of Anderton's TV. So I like watching like music gear channels. I get more enjoyment out of that, to be honest with you. It's, because I do this so much, I tend to not spend a lot of time listening to my other friends and acquaintances who have YouTube channels who talk about this stuff as well. I try to watch stuff that's a little bit different. So I watch Andertons and a lot of other like guys who do like guitar gear and things like that and do reviews and stuff like that. So I love the guys over at Andertons in the UK. They're loads of fun to watch. So I watch more of that stuff, to be honest with you, than I do like music discussion stuff like what I do, because it would just be too much for me. So let's see. Will we ever get a ranking of the Pretty Things? I mean, I have like most, if not all, of the Pretty Things early albums, like from the 60s into the early 70s, but I don't they have like a shit ton of other releases? I just never bothered to get anything else, so I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. We'll see. No, I never say never. Uh, Setlist says Macaulay Schenker played with Black Crowes at the Chance. Yes, so I knew it was one of those two shows, and I remember that show being very good, but I don't remember the Black Crowes at all. They didn't register at all. But I did see them like a year or so later, maybe 2 years later, open up for ZZ Top at Madison Square Garden, and they were great then. I thought they blew ZZ Top away. ZZ Top, I was very unsatisfied with or dissatisfied with on that show, but I've seen ZZ Top in more recent times, and they were great. To me, ZZ Top was all about the gimmick thing. They did the whole sliding stage and all the women out there. It was very gimmicky for me. And I thought the Black Crowes were great that night. They were hot on the heels of the new album, the first album, which is really good. Let's see what else. Have you heard Chain Saint? No, I have not heard Chain Saint. Favorite Zebra album, the first album, but I like all of them. Did I see Steve Hogarth is doing his first U.S. solo show in New Jersey at Prague? Oh, really? Oh, kind of cool. That's pretty cool. Steve is great. Do I have any Seven Spires albums? No, I do not. I do like them though. Can you do a ranking of Renaissance albums? I've already done a Greg Jones years ago. Go check it out. Cubbies are going to give the Mets a beating at Wrigley in September. We shall see. We shall see. Let's see. The Red Sox are stinking. Well, it's early yet, guys. Anybody who's panicking, unless you're a Rockies fan or a White Sox fan, I think I wouldn't panic right now. There's a lot of baseball to be played yet, so people get crazy like after 30, 40 games. It's like there's a lot to play. Zebra at the Chance. Yeah, I saw Zebra a bunch of times. I saw Zebra at Rosebuds. For anybody who's from this area, remembers Rosebuds in New Windsor. Very cool little rock club. I saw Zebra there a bunch of times. I've seen Zebra at the Chance. Yeah, Zebra's great. Let's see. What time we doing? We're just about an hour. So I'm gonna start to say goodbye, everybody. I was hoping my special guest would have come on. I was trying to get a special guest on this, but looks like that's not going to happen. All right, let's see. Let's see. What's your take on Great White? Any rankings plan? Yes, for as Furiosa. I will be doing a Great White album ranking in the not too distant future, actually. So I just I picked out I got a bunch of Great White on CD. There's a few more to get. I may not get all of them because some of them are hard to find, but I'll be ranking nonetheless, even if I don't go out and buy all of them because can't buy everything. So I will be doing a Great White ranking at some point. Um, I love watching the Captain Meets on Anderson's channel. Yeah, the Captain is great. He's great. His interviews are cool, but I love like his interaction with Danish Pete, and I even like when Rob Chapman is on as well. It's a fun channel, and if when you're doing gear talk, you have to make it fun. So I love those guys. I've been watching them for years. They're really good. Let's see. Yes, I did do a golden earring ranking quite a while ago. I don't know if I did like all the albums or if I did a top 10, but I'm pretty sure I did a golden earring ranking. Um, Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Um, what else we got here? How long have I known Martin Popoff? Martin Popoff and I have been before we started doing shows on this channel together, Martin and I were acquaintances online, and he was well familiar with like the Sea of Tranquility webzine, and we had communicated via email and whatnot for many, many years when he was doing the Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles magazine and whatnot. But it wasn't until I went and like invited Martin on for like an interview about one of his books, like whatever that was, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. We had such a good time. We had such good, rapport that we decided to then do another show together. And then that show turned into however many years we've been doing Friday morning at the Funhouse. For like, we did like Friday morning at the Funhouse, like almost every single Friday for like 4 years straight. So, now it's like we're only twice a month instead of four times a month. It's just because we've covered so many topics and we want to keep it fresh. So, it was my decision to do that. I think Martin still would like to do every week, but it was just my decision to do that. So, but yeah, so I know Martin a long time, but we didn't meet in person for the first time until Fall Fest, like you know, 3 years ago. That was the first time we actually met in person. So yeah, Martin's great. I love Martin. Mike Slammer is indeed a incredible guitar player. Um, Go check out those City Boy albums, people. They're really good. Um, yeah, there was something about Chris Robinson on that tour later on in that tour, but I got to see them, so which is good. I don't remember if the Garden show was earlier in the tour or not, but it was definitely very cool. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go check out the last bunch of posts here. Wow, we got 334 people still on there. Whatever show you do, Pete, is educational. Watching your show made people who knew very little about music become practical geniuses. Well, thank you, Metal Cousins, Nick. That's very cool to hear. You know me, I love my music. I'm passionate about it. I'm not saying I know more than everybody else, but I listen to a lot of music, a lot of bands. I own a lot of albums, and I'm very happy to share my passion and what knowledge I have from all the years I've been doing this and collecting music and listening to music. And this is fun for me. So, but thank you for the kind words. I agree, appreciate it. Um, yeah, Claude, I thought I did do the Golden Earring ranking. I just don't remember if I did every single album or if I did like a top 10. Either way, I did a ranking. I'm positive of it. So what is the Sea of Tranquility? It's whatever you want it to be. Like if you know the history of this channel and of the webzine, we were actually a print magazine, which was created by James Bickers back in the late 90s. And why he named the magazine Sea of Tranquility, I don't know. It has all about to do the sea on the moon type of thing, right? Um, but that's what he called it. And we went from a print magazine to a webzine to a website where he asked me to take it over because he was starting to have a family and got a new job and he just couldn't do it anymore. So I took it over in 2001. And I have been manning Sea of Tranquility for 24 years, but involved with it since like 98. So it's been a long, long time, a good chunk of my life actually. So yeah, why it's called Sea of Tranquility, I don't know. Did I ever think about changing it? Not really. It became our brand, right? Everybody knows Sea of Tranquility now. So yeah. So we've had the webzine, like I said, print magazine starting in the late 90s, webzine since 2001. We started the channel up here in 2014, and we're still going strong. And now the channel's become the main thing, right? We still have the webzine, we still a lot of 25,000 reviews on there. So if you ever want to go look up stuff and see what we reviewed out, certain albums and things, I highly recommend you go check it out at seaoftranquility.org. But yeah, this has become the main thing for Sea of Tranquility for a number of years now. All right. Let's see. Kiefer, why were you nervous? I missed part of this conversation. I think I was nervous the whole time. Most embarrassing concert I've ever been to, like embarrassing. I thought Poison and Rat were. I was more embarrassed for them because they were so terrible. This was like in '86 or '87 because they were Rats seemed like they were drunk and disinterested, and Poison were just terrible. I was also pretty embarrassed when Guns N' Roses just treated their road crew and the audience like shit at Giant Stadium when they headlined over Metallica and Faith No More back in '91 or whatever year that was. That was embarrassing. He was just such a dick, Axl Rose. That's crazy. Do I still listen to any extreme metal stuff? Oh yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I listen to, not maybe not as much as I used to, but I have my bands now. I used to listen to like tons of new extreme metal and stuff, and now I have my favorite death metal bands and black metal bands. And I listen to stuff when they come out with new stuff. I listen to that, and maybe don't listen to as much as I used to, but I still listen to. I still have my favorite bands. Like I could put on a Nile CD or a Death CD anytime, and really enjoy it. And my voice is starting to go, so I'm going to start cutting this short. All right, so guys, we're at about the hour point. Poison or Five Finger Death Punch? Oof. I'd probably rather listen to Five Finger Death Punch because at least they're more metal, right? Poison is just terrible. Just terrible. Scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were you during the Alex Lifeson interview? I was fairly nervous for like the hour leading up to it, I won't lie. But more like nervous, like excited nervous. And the only other time I ever got nervous like that was when I was set to interview Rob Halford. I've never been nervous for any other one. But like as with the Rob Halford interview, within like a minute, Alex was so warm and inviting that all that went away. So, and it was great after that. So that's the one cool thing about talking to your heroes. It's like you're nervous because you're like, oh my God, you put them up on a pedestal. But then once you start talking to them, they're just regular people like we are. He was awesome. He was, I think, from a just proud about how the discussion went and how cool he was. I think that's my favorite interview that I ever did. And I love, I thought the Dennis DeYoung one was great. The Halford one was pretty cool. The Steve Lukather one was great. I mean, there's a lot of ones that I really am proud of, but I think the Alex was, for me, that was probably my favorite of all time. Is it true that SOT Fall Fest is what led to? No, it's not. It was kind of a disaster, but no, that had nothing to do with it. That was inevitable. We just, in hindsight, I should have picked another place. That's just what it came down to. I should have picked another place. But it is what it is. You learn, live and learn, right? So it was a fun time regardless. We had a blast, but it could have gone smoother. So, what top three genres, your top three genres these days? Probably, I don't know, top three? Jeez. I love my Doom. You guys know I love my Doom. I love my Fusion. I love my prog. I love my hard rock. I love my metal. I can't pick three. Maybe right now? Geez, I don't know. That's a difficult question. I listen to so much different kind of stuff. It's hard for me to just pinpoint. Um, cool. The show is going to cost you a lot of money. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for spending some time with us here today. I'm going to sign out because it's been a long day and the sunburn that I got today is starting to get to me. So, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll try and do this a little more often if you guys really, really enjoy it. So, but this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together, all the damn time. See you soon. Have a good one. More stuff coming all this week. So take care, everybody. And thanks for being fans of the channel. Take care. Bye bye.